Do these 5 stretches daily, or risk losing the freedom to move when you need it most. Stretch number 1. Neck side bend stretch. Your neck is more than just the support for your head. It's the gateway to your nervous system, housing critical pathways that connect your brain to the rest of your body. When the muscles around it stiffen, the consequences ripple out quickly. Circulation to your brain slows, oxygen delivery decreases, and balance begins to decline. Even your memory and focus can suffer because a stiff neck doesn't just trap muscles, it restricts blood and nerve flow. That's where the neck side bend stretch comes in. It looks deceptively simple. Sit tall in a chair, shoulders relaxed, and gently drop your right ear toward your shoulder. Hold that position as you breathe slowly, letting the side of your neck release. Switch sides and repeat. On the surface, you're just tilting your head, but beneath that calm movement, the scalene and trapezius muscles are lengthening, undoing decades of poor posture from reading, driving, and looking down at phones. The results are powerful. This stretch restores blood flow to the brain, reduces the frequency of tension headaches, and creates a looser, more stable upper spine. In fact, studies show that older adults with flexible necks have a significantly lower risk of dizziness and falls. And here's the part most people overlook. Releasing the neck doesn't just make it easier to turn your head. It improves nerve signals traveling into your arms and hands. Suddenly, tasks like buttoning a shirt, gripping a cup, or writing feel smoother and easier. And if unlocking your neck can restore freedom in something as small as your hands, imagine what happens when we target the muscles that control every step you take. Stretch number 2. Seated hamstring stretch. Think of your hamstrings as the ropes that connect your hips to your knees. With every year that passes, those ropes tend to tighten. It happens slowly, almost without notice, but the effects can be dramatic. Tight hamstrings pull your pelvis out of alignment, strain your lower back, and shorten your stride so much that even a simple walk around the block feels heavier than it should. Many people over 60 blame aging itself for this stiffness, but in reality, the hamstrings are one of the most overlooked culprits. That's why the seated hamstring stretch is so powerful. Sit tall on a chair, extend one leg forward with your heel on the floor, and lean forward gently from the hips until you feel that steady pull behind your thigh. Hold, breathe, and let the rope slowly loosen. It's safe, controlled, and can be done anywhere. No fancy equipment, no floor work required. Why does this matter so much? Because flexible hamstrings don't just make bending or walking easier, they're directly tied to your independence. Looser hamstrings mean standing up from a chair without groaning, climbing stairs without strain, and walking with a longer, more natural stride. A study from the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that older adults with flexible hamstrings reported nearly 30% fewer mobility problems in daily life. But here's the kicker. Tight hamstrings are one of the leading hidden causes of lower back pain, something most people never realize until it's too late. And if a simple leg stretch can protect your back, imagine the impact when we move to the joint that decides whether you stay independent or dependent. Stretch number 3. Hip flexor lunge stretch. Your hips are the true hinges of your body. Every step you take, every time you bend to pick something up, even the simple act of getting out of bed, your hip flexors are leading the movement. But here's the problem. Years of sitting at desks, in cars, or on couches cause these muscles to shorten and weaken. When that happens, the pelvis tilts forward, posture collapses, and suddenly balance feels less steady. Even worse, tight hip flexors place extra stress on your knees and lower back, accelerating arthritis and daily aches you might already be noticing. The hip flexor lunge stretch is one of the best ways to fight back. Start by stepping one foot forward and the other behind, like you're preparing for a gentle lunge. Bend the front knee slightly while keeping your back leg straight until you feel a stretch deep in the front of your hip. Hold steady, breathe, and let the tension melt away. With every inhale and exhale, you're not just opening up the hip, you're restoring posture, easing back pain, and reactivating the muscles that protect you from dangerous falls. But here's the kicker. Weak, tight hips aren't just uncomfortable, they're directly linked to a loss of independence, which raises the question, if your hips decide your mobility, what happens when we move higher up to the very core of your strength? Stretch number 4. Chest opener stretch. Your chest muscles are like shutters. Over time, with years of sitting, hunching forward, or looking down at phones and screens, those shutters begin to close. The shoulders roll inward, the upper back rounds, and the lungs lose room to expand. The result? Shallow breathing, less oxygen reaching your body, and a constant feeling of fatigue. You may not even connect to posture. The chest opener stretch is the simple antidote. Stand tall in a doorway, place your forearms or hands against the frame, and gently step forward. Instantly, the chest widens, the shoulders roll back, and the lungs have space to open fully. With each breath, oxygen delivery increases, your posture realigns, and energy rises. Science backs this up. One clinical study showed older adults who practiced daily chest stretches improved respiratory efficiency and even reported better, deeper sleep within weeks. And here's something most people don't realize. By opening the chest, you reduce pressure on the heart, improving circulation and lowering that drained, tired feeling that often creeps in with age. So if the chest holds the secret to energy, breath, and even sleep, what happens when we unlock the part of the body that silently controls balance, digestion, and pain relief? Stretch number 5. Seated spinal twist. Your spine isn't just bones stacked on bones, it's the command center of your body. When it stiffens, nerve signals slow, digestion struggles, and stability fades. The seated spinal twist restores movement where it's needed most. Sit tall in a chair, cross your right hand to your left knee, and gently twist while keeping your back straight. Hold, breathe, and then switch sides. This gentle rotation rehydrates spinal discs, releases pressure from sitting, and improves digestion by stimulating circulation to the abdomen. But the most powerful benefit, it wakes up the small stabilizer muscles along your spine, the ones that keep you upright, coordinated, and balanced. That's why older adults who do spinal twists daily report fewer falls and better posture. But here's the real eye-opener. Combining spinal twists with the other stretches doesn't just prevent stiffness, it can actually reverse years of mobility loss. And once you feel that kind of freedom, you'll wonder why you didn't start sooner.